Oh god, I feel terrible today. I really should be in bed. I shouldn't be doing this video, but anyway, here you go. It's Tony Blair, you see, he just gets my hackles up. Tony Blair, people should listen to my advice on ISIS as I have been to war in Iraq before. Right, let's get one thing straight, Tony fucking Blair. You haven't been to war in Iraq. You've been nowhere fucking near war in Iraq. You will never go to war in Iraq. You could never, okay? You created a war in Iraq and you got everybody else's sons and daughters to fight your war in Iraq. So don't go spewing that you little fuckwit actually went to war in Iraq, because you didn't, Blair, you scum. What that headline should actually read is, Tony Blair, people should listen to my advice on ISIS as I have funded them while sending your sons and daughters to be killed by them in a war that was for oil and for corporations. That's the truth, Blair, you scum. Now let's look at what this warmonger war criminal has to say in this article. Tony Blair has said that politicians should heed his advice. Unbelievable. The British boots on the ground in Iraq should not be ruled out because he had experience of taking Britain to war in that country. The former Prime Minister said people should appreciate that he has learnt lessons going to war in Iraq and listen to his thoughts on tackling Islamic State, because they are precisely the same terrorist forces he battled during the conflict. Let's just get that straight again. He didn't battle anybody. His comments come as Lieutenant General Sir Graham Lamb, a former director of British Special Forces, said it's now time to rule in the idea of involving British ground forces in the conflict. The former Labour Prime Minister has said airstrikes will not be enough to defeat the jihadists who have taken control of large swathes of Iraq and Syria. Sending in combat troops to fight Islamic State militants on the ground should not be ruled out. Mr Blair, whose premiership was defined by the Iraq War, has said that although there may be no appetite for a ground fight, it may become necessary. But not by you and your toffee little friends, sons and daughters, by everybody else's, eh Blair? When will the mainstream media realise, and when will Blair realise, that no one, and I am betting this includes his witch wife Cherie, no one wants to hear what Tony Blair has to say about fucking anything, let alone a war that he lied the country into for his buddy W, and of course for the corporations so that they could grab up all the oil. Why is this man allowed column inches? Are editors of newspapers just stupid? I genuinely wish Tony Blair would die. I really do. I'm not going to do it, I wouldn't harm him at all. But I would love him to die. Maybe run over by a car, something like that. Or maybe would it be great if he had to go to hospital and he caught MRSA and died in one of the dirty hospitals that he helped to create. When was the last time this guy said anything constructive about anything? He's supposed to be the Middle East peace envoy. What a fucking sick joke that is. But all you ever hear him talk about is war, death and murder, and how we should bomb here and attack there and put your sons and daughters in the line of fire over here and over there. Not his. His son's gonna get a cushy little MP's job somewhere. What a satanic piece of shit Tony Blair is. If anyone should brag like Obama did about being very good at killing people, it should have been Blair. I wouldn't put it past him, he probably does privately. But let's just remind ourselves what Tony Blair has done. He and that utterly disgustingly arrogant pig of a man, Alistair Campbell, produced a dodgy dossier which openly lied about Saddam being able to launch weapons of mass destruction at us in 45 minutes. This was, of course, after he'd already told Bush that he would go to war regardless.
It concludes that Iraq has chemical and biological weapons, that Saddam has continued to produce them, that he has existing and active military plans for the use of chemical and biological weapons, which could be activated within 45 minutes, including against his own Shia population, and that he is actively trying to acquire nuclear weapons capability.
You see, Blair and his spin Dr. Campbell lied about what they knew with regards to WMDs in Iraq because they had previously made promises to America and their corporations about going in, supporting America and getting the oil for those corporations. Blair then allegedly had David Kelly killed to shut him up when David Kelly started talking, and rightly so, about there not being any WMDs in Iraq. The invasion that Blair claims to have so much experience about killed over 1 million innocent people and created the environment that is there today that's causing the issues today. Blair is also now stopping the Chilcot report coming out. He denies it, of course, because this shows him as a warmonger, something we all know he is. He just can't admit it himself because he's a fucking idiot. Blair now flies around the world in private jets to hang out with media moguls and their wives. He has 7 or 8 properties. He disgustingly makes approximately £20 million a year, no doubt as payment from the very corporations who he gave the Iraqi oil to. Plus, he also, get this, costs the taxpayer about £250,000 a year in security. Can you believe that? We are paying through our taxes to keep this insane death machine safe and secure. After what he's done. Unbelievable. Maybe we should spend this money on securing passage, legally or illegally, to Iraq for Blair and give him over to ISIS in a trade which I mentioned in another video a few weeks ago. I fucking hate Tony Blair more than anybody else on the planet. Have you seen the film The Purge? Well, if we ever had that over here, I would head to his house straight away. The only downside would be that I'm sure, because I live so far, some other fucker would have beaten me to it. What an utterly disgusting human being Tony Blair is.